Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents another exciting edition of Inside Pitch. The 1972 season is on the air. Today's date is April 18th, 1972. We are at Memorial Stadium for a pretty good matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles. The Tigers come into this game a record of 1-0. The Orioles are off to a winless streak early at 0-2, very in the infant stage of this 72 replay. I do apologize. Sometimes if you ever see me, if you guys are already in the chat and suddenly my stream begins and then suddenly it kills out, that means I did not have any sound when the stream started. So I have to completely kill it and then restart the stream again. So I do apologize for that. I still have I don't know if it's microphone problems or driver problems. I have no idea what it is. But usually the second time around gets everything going. Brian B., Tracy Meehan, Frank Rosenk, Steeler fan, joins us here at Memorial Stadium. You said you heard me. All right, I don't know, because my microphone information says that nothing was coming through. So maybe I'll state if anybody can hear me, and that is fine. And Chuck Rawlings joins us here at Memorial Stadium. And I know for a fact that Chuck and Philip Reynolds, I know Chuck Rawlings would not miss a Tigers game. It's our first look at these two teams. The Tigers historically won this game 5-3. They had 11 hits. The Orioles had 6 hits and 3 errors. So ugly. It was a kind of an ugly game for the Baltimore Orioles. But we will see what Inside Pitch happens to say tonight as Ron McGrath now joins us here at Memorial Stadium. And yes, Steeler fan, you do get the block dragon for that one. So, starting at a much better time this time instead of last night at 8:45. Now we can start as set at where's the wire to the Reds? I hate to say this, but the Reds are already have a couple of losses, so they are not getting there. And so I'm sorry about that, Philip Reynolds. Not up to me, it's up to the dice. So without further ado, let's get started. This is our normal time slot. It's 7:30. I like to get the game in quickly. I will start certain games at 8 o'clock, but 7:30 is kind of like the way I like to go. So, and DB joins us here at Memorial Stadium. So let's get started. Starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles tonight, he is known as Cakes, and I don't know why. Gentleman Jim Palmer, Hall of Famer? Yes. Does anybody have any problem if I say that Jim Palmer was one of the greatest of all time? I don't think anybody will have an issue with that. And he had a great year in 72. 21 wins, 10 losses, 2.07 ERA, 184 strikeouts, and 69 walks. So he gets the call tonight for the O's, and we are all set and ready to go. Tigers, let's see what they bring to the table here in Inside Pitch for 1972. Let's go to the top of the first. Leading off for the Tigers, second baseman Dick McAuliffe, 240 average, 8 homers, 30 RBIs in 72. We will use orange, white, and black dice. Orioles are the home team. And Big Clue says he was one of the greatest. That defense behind him sure didn't hurt. That is true. And let's see what happens in a big game here at Memorial Stadium. The Orioles in 72 were pretty excellent. The Tigers weren't too bad either. Let's see what happens. First pitch, Palmer, 2-2. That is a blank. McAuliffe, 2-4, and that's a ground ball hit to first base. And that'll be handled by a guy by the name of Powell. Boog Powell, that is. And that is out number 1. 1 down. That'll bring up the third baseman, Aurelio Rodriguez. 236 average, 13 homers, 56 RBIs. Chuck Rawlings, if you have a Chuck Rawlings, if I need you for some help, please let me know there. And let's see here. She likes the original fast intro the best. Palmer, 1-1. That is a blank. Rodriguez, 4-5. And that's a fly ball hit to center field. Going after that is Blair. And that'll be handled by Paul Blair. He'll make the catch. 2 down. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jim Northrup. Jim Northrup. I know a little bit about him. I looked at his stats. I kind of think Northrup was pretty solid. Not Hall of very good or anything, but I always felt Jim Northrup was pretty solid. He's in center field, though, for this game tonight. 261 average, 8 homers, 42 RBIs. And D. Scott Howard, the GOAT Whisperer, joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Yeah, how come nobody took a look at my new logo? I updated the logo for 2024. So I have a new logo in the stream. I'm surprised nobody said anything. I had to mention it in the comments. Boy, you guys can't see anything, can you? Palmer with the pitch. 4-1. That's a strikeout, and that one will be a swing and a miss, and that will be a strikeout. Memorial Stadium has 1 to strikeouts and subtracts 1 from walks. That'll be the first K for Palmer. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Cakes. And we'll go to the bottom of the first. Starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers will be Joe Coleman. He had a pretty good year himself. 19 wins, 14 losses, a 2.80 ERA. With that low ERA, it tells me he didn't get much run support in his games. He had 222 strikeouts and 103 walks. He had a few control issues. But Coleman gets the call for the Tigers tonight. Palmer lived to eat pancakes, especially on the mornings of his start. That's what I thought. So that's why I wanted to know why he was called Cake. So thank you there, Tracy Meehan. Let's see who the Baltimore brings up here. Leading off will be the left fielder, Don Buford. 206 average, 5 homers, 22 RBIs in 72. Coleman, 2-2. And against the switch left, that's a blank. Buford, 6-6, and that's flying to right field. Going after that is some guy by the name of Mr. Tiger, as Al Kaline will make the catch. 1 down, and now we'll see the right fielder, Merv Rettenman. 233 average, 6 homers, 21 RBIs. Coleman, a 1-1. That's a walk, and that 3 is an easy walk, and Rettenman will trot to first base on the base on balls. First walk given up by Coleman. And that'll bring up this guy, first baseman, Boog Powell. Looking at his pictures, can everybody agree with me that guy was pretty big? That Boog Powell was a huge man. 252 average, 21 homers, 81 RBIs. He had gigantic arms. And again, Steeler fan is calling my mom. I really wish he would stop doing that. I hate to say to Steeler fan, she's not interested. Jeez. So Boog Powell comes up there, and he was a pretty big man. Can anybody agree with me on that? Jimmy Jam joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Redmond at 6 stolen bases. That's a 20. Coleman will go to first, but he won't get him. And now Coleman will pitch to Powell. Coleman, 5-3. That's a range play. Powell, infield double play, of course. 2-2, and that's a line drive right to first, but that's a range play for Norm Cash. He's a double play depth, so his range for this is going to be a 2. And he ain't going to get it, and that's going to be a line drive, and that is going to be a base hit for Boog Powell, as that will get by Cash. Redmond, a base running rating of 4, and that's going to be good enough for him on a single pass first, and he will make the third. So Powell gets a single there, and runners at the corners with 1 out. And that'll bring up that guy, third baseman, Mr. Brooks Robinson, best fielding third baseman in baseball history. 250 average, 8 homers, 64 RBIs. Although in 72, I guess Robinson was beginning to show a little signs of age. He only has a range of 4 in 72. Runners at the corners, and they're going to call double play depth and try to get the out. It's early. So runners at the corners, anything on the strat? And it says no. As Brian Patterson and David Lando join us here at Memorial Stadium. So Coleman with the pitch. Coleman, 4-1. That's a walk. That's a 3, and that is ball 4. So Coleman in some trouble here as he now walks the bases loaded. Second walk of the game for Coleman. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ellie Hendricks. Didn't get much play in 72. Only a 142 average and a couple of homers and 10 RBIs. But he gets the call here. And they're gonna stay with double play depth. Again, it is early, so the Tigers want to try to get the outs and maybe give up a run if they have to. Strategy, nothing on the 16. Coleman in some trouble here in the bottom of inning 1. Pitch, Coleman, 4-4 against the lefty. That's a home run result against the righty. Hendricks needs an 8. That's a 1, and that is a pretty good way to start the second game of the season. Kablam! Grand slam! Joe Coleman on a 4-4 against the lefties, a straight home run result. And against the righty, Hendricks is an 8, and that is a 1, and that is a kaboom! Stadium cheers! Yay! Second game of our 72 replay, and we have our first grand slam of the season. And it's 4-0 O's. As Ellie Hendricks will go ahead and get that bomb. Well, I shouldn't say bomb anymore, I guess. A grand slam by Ellie Hendricks puts the Orioles ahead 4-0. And now we'll see the center fielder, Paul Blair, 233 average, 8 homers, 49 RBIs, and still 1 out here in the bottom of the first. So go talk to Coleman, see how he's doing. He says, I'm all right. That was just a bad pitch, and it was. He pitched him a meatball, and he turned that into lasagna. Coleman, 3-6, error on a grounder. Blair, 5-3. That is a ground ball. It's a ground ball to third. That ball is hit to Aurelio Rodriguez. His error rating is a 6. That's a 5, and he's going to pick it up, and he's going to drop it, and Blair is going to be safe. And that is going to be an E5. First error on the Tigers in the ball game. They didn't have any historically, but that's going to be an E5 on Aurelio Rodriguez on an error on a grounder, and Blair will make it to first. So right now the Tigers having a rough day here early in this ball game. And here comes the second baseman, Davey Johnson, who says he wants to manage one of the best teams in baseball history in 1986. And we'll have to find out if that happens. 221 average, 5 homers, 32 RBIs. He's at second base for this game. Infield is at double play depth. And Billy Martin chugs another bottle of Pepto. And that's a 3. And Blair gets the steal sign, but with a 9 plus 1 is a 10. I'm not going to send him. Coleman will go ahead and pitch. Coleman, 2-3. That's a pitcher result against the righty. 1-5 is an out. That's a 4. That will be an out. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. 3-3-4. Second base pivot, McAuliffe a 0. 1-4. It's a double play. They got it, and that will retire the side. 6-4-3 double play. 4 runs on 2 hits, 2 walks and an error. A grand slam by Ellie Hendricks, and he had 2 home runs in the season, and it looks like he gets one here. And after one, it is 4-0 in favor of the Birds. We go to the top of the second. Leading off for the Tigers will be the right fielder, Mr. Tiger himself, Al Kaline. Hall of Famer? Yep. One of the greatest of all time? Yep. 313 average, 10 homers, 32 RBIs. Had a very good year in 72. Gentleman Jim will pitch. Palmer, 1-1. That is a blank. Kaline, 6-1, and that's grounded right back to Palmer. He'll take care of that and throw it over for the out. Next up is the first baseman, Norm Cash. 259 average, 22 homers, 61 RBIs in 72. Palmer with the deal. 5-3, strikeout. 15 is high. Cash, a 5-5, and that's flied to right field. That'll be caught by Rettenman for the second out. And next up will be the left fielder, Willie Horton. Here's a who. 231 average, 11 homers, and 36 RBIs in 72. Palmer, a 5-1. That's an error on a throw. Horton, 1-3. That's a power hit to left field. That is a 6. Against the righty, that is going to be a double. So really, Horton will go ahead and hit the double to left. There won't be a throwing error, nobody on base. So Horton will go ahead and hold at second with a 2-out double. So he gets the first hit of the game for the Cats. And now here comes the catcher, Bill Freehan. 262 average, 10 homers, 56 RBIs. Anything on the strat? The answer is no. Horton will stay put. Palmer with the pitch. Palmer, 5-3, strikeout 6. Yep, swing and a miss. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. Second strikeout for Palmer. No runs and a hit for the Tigers. And we will go to the bottom of the second inning. Good to see you guys tonight, getting here in this infant stage of the 1972 season, which should be a lot of fun. Leading off for the Orioles will be the shortstop, Mark Belanger, 186 average, 2 homers, 16 RBIs. Mike Silva and Beagles Eternally join us here at Memorial Stadium. Help! I need somebody! That counts. Coleman with the pitch. Coleman, 6-2, strikeout. The 14 is just going to miss. Belanger, 2-4, and that's grounded to short. That'll get handled by Ed Brinkman. He'll take his time and toss it over for the out. Next up is the pitcher, Jim Cakes Palmer, and he can hit the ball. 224 average and 8 RBIs in 72. So if you make a mistake, Palmer is going to go ahead and put that into the outfield probably. Dwayne Martz joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Coleman with the pitch. 3-2. That's a home run chance, but Palmer has 0, so it's not happening. Palmer, 1-5, but he will get a base hit past third, so Palmer will help his cause, and he'll come away with a single. So runner on first base, and now the batter is Buford. Buford is 0 for 1, infield double play. Palmer, I don't think is going to do anything, and he won't. He will stay right where he is. Coleman will go ahead and he will pitch. Coleman, 6-1, strikeout. And that 10 is a swing and a miss and struck him out. He will get Buford. And that is the first strikeout for Coleman. He had 222 of them that year. He'll get his first K here. 2 away. And here's Redmond. Redmond walked his first time up. Anything on the strat? Nothing on the 5. Coleman will pitch to Redmond. Coleman, 5-4, strikeout. The 17 is high. Redmond, 5-5. That's a ground ball to second base. Over there will be McCullough. He'll take his time, and he is going to tag second base himself to force out Palmer, and that will end the inning. So a much better inning for Joel Coleman. No runs and a hit. 4-0 in favor of the O's. The difference, a grand slam by Ellie Hendricks of all players. Top of the third coming up. And leading off for the Tigers will be the shortstop, Ed Brinkman. I don't know much about him. 203 average, 6 homers, 49 RBIs, although he did play in every game for the Tigers in 1972. Palmer, 5-3, strikeout, 7, and he will get him. Struck him out. He will go ahead and get him, and that is the third strikeout for Cakes. 1 away, and now that'll bring up the pitcher, Joe Coleman. He batted 110 as a hitter in 1972. It's like a reunion, you know, you realize I'm the new guy. Doug Hunt joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Palmer, 6-1, strikeout 4, easily gets Coleman with no problem, struck him out, and that'll be the 4th strikeout for Palmer, 2 down. Top of the order, here's McCullough. Palmer sets up with the pitch. 4-4, and against the lefty, it's blank. McCullough, 6-5, and that is a grounder to short. And moving over there will be Belanger. He'll take his time, toss it over. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Gentleman Jim. We go to the bottom of the third. Glad everybody here is joining for another big game of Inside Pitch. Very early, very early in the 1972 season. But these seasons go by very quickly. As I said, since I do one game per 3 days of baseball, the regular season can probably last just a little over 2 months before we get to the postseason. Bottom of the third, and who leads off? That will be Boog Powell. He got a single his first time up. Pretty big guy. Boog Powell was I look at pictures of Boog Powell. He had logs for arms. Coleman, 6'6", that's a range play. Powell, 1-3, that's a fly ball hit to left field. Going after that is Willie Horton. Not very good. His range is a 1. But he's going to make the catch on the run. What a play by Willie Horton. He needed a 1 and he got it. Willie Horton must have taken some lessons from Greg Luzinski. That will be a fly out the left, as Powell can't believe Horton made the play. That's a web gem. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Here comes Robinson. He walked his first time up. Coleman on the pitch. Coleman, 4-6, strikeout. 16 is high. Brooks, 5-2, and against the righty, it's a ground ball to short. That'll get handled by Brinkman for the second out. And now here's Hendricks, and he gets a very nice ovation from the Be More crowd. Ellie Hendricks, a grand slam home run, and the first grand slam of this 72 replay. He had 2 home runs in 72. He gets the one here. So Coleman will pitch to him. Coleman, 2-1, strikeout. The 20 is high. Hendricks, a 5-3, and this time it's grounded over to third, and Aurelio Rodriguez will take his time and toss it over and end the inning. 1-2-3, go the Birds, and it is still 4-0 after 3. Top of inning number 4. Leading off for the Tigers will be Aurelio Rodriguez. He's 0 for 1. Palmer, so go ahead and pitch. Yes, Willie Horton definitely belongs in the Hall of the Very Good. I have no problem with that. 4-6, that is a blank. Rodriguez, 3-5, and that's a grounder to short, handled easily by Belanger. And he will toss it over. Next batter is Northrup. Northrup is 0 for 1. Palmer, a 3-1. That's at the park. Memorial Stadium, 4-1, and that's grounded right at the plate. And Ellie Hendricks is going to get that, and he's going to throw to first easily. That's out number 2. Memorial Stadium only surrendered 84 home runs in 72. And, of course, we all know that this year, and lately in the modern era, Baltimore is a big launching pad at Camden Yards, but Memorial Stadium pretty quiet in 72. Here's K-Line. K-Line is 0 for 1, Mr. Tiger. Palmer with the pitch. 2-2, that is a blank. K-Line, 5-2, and that's a ground ball to second base. Over there is Davey Johnson, and they'll take his care of it. They'll throw to first, and that is another 1-2-3 inning for Cakes. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Nothing across. Jeremy Brooks joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Paul Blair will lead off for the O's. He reached on an error his first time up. 4-0 Orioles. Fans here, Memorial. Orioles come into this game at 0-2. They haven't won a game yet. They're but it's then very early up in the 10-minute ticker. Coleman, 2-2 against the righty. That's a strikeout plus. And Blair's going to swing high. The ball is going to go low, and that will be a K. And that is the second strikeout for Coleman. Next up is Johnson, who, of course, made the last out in the 1969 World Series. Coleman will go ahead and pitch. Johnson is 0 for 1. Coleman, 5-5. That's a range play at the park. Memorial Stadium, 3-6. That's a single plus to right field. Going after that is K-Line. His range is a 2. He's not going to get that. Now Johnson has to try for second base. Base runner 2, K-line a 0 arm. A 1-2, Johnson will make it. And that is a 6. There could be an out. Here comes the throw. Here comes the throw from K-line. He has a 0 arm. A 1-3, Johnson is out. No, Johnson will go ahead and get back. So that will be a single as a good throw made by the right fielder, Al K-line. But Johnson decides to go ahead and get back to first base, and he'll be happy with the single, as that was a heck of a throw made by Mr. Tiger. And the batter now will be Belanger as Tim Steinhauer joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Belanger is 0 for 1. Infield double play. And Johnson is staying where he is. Coleman with the pitch. Coleman, 3-1. That's at the park. Memorial Stadium, 3-1. That's popped up behind the plate, right up the chimney. And that's going to be Bill Freeman making the play. And that is out number 2. And, of course, Dave Johnson will stay where he is. Now here comes Palmer. Palmer got a base hit his first time up. Anything on the strat? Nope. Johnson will stay up there. Coleman, 1-5. That's a walk, but that's too high. Palmer, 4-5. And this time it's a ground out to third base. Rodriguez will get it. He will throw to second to get Johnson. And that will retire the side. No runs and a hit. Since the grand slam given up by Joe Coleman, the Tigers he has only scattered 2 hits. And remember, no lead is safe at inside pitch. But still 4-0 in favor of the Orioles after 4. We go to the top of the 5th. Leading off for the Big D will be Norm Cash, and he's 0 for 1. Orange dice for teams. I have orange dice. It's right there. I have orange dice. I have orange black dice. Palmer will pitch. Palmer, 3-1. That is at the park. Memorial Stadium, 6-3. And that's a fly ball hit to center field. And that is going to be Blair making that catch for out number 1. Next batter is Horton. Horton got a double his first time up. He has the only hit for the Tigers in this game so far. Palmer, 2-3. Range play at the park. Memorial Stadium, 4-5. And that is going to be a blank. We will have a rare play with the bases empty. The range play is canceled. So now we'll go to the rare play, 35, and grounded to first base, grounded to the first baseman who flips to the pitcher, covering for the out, but the pitcher and the hitter collide behind the bag. Check for injury to both the pitcher and the hitter. So he is out, but Palmer and Horton will collide. So the question is anybody out of the game? Well, Palmer has an injury rating of 0. And he's going to be out for the game. Wow. So the Orioles just lost Palmer for the rest of the game. What about Horton? Horton's injury rating is a 3. I don't have to roll the dice for him. He's already automatically out for the game. Remember, game day injuries only. Okay, I do not do full-time injuries until the postseason. So both Palmer and Horton are out of the game. So that means I need a new left fielder and a new starter for and another pitcher for the Orioles. So Palmer, wow, what a time for that rare play to come up. So that is going to be listed as a ground ball, as a grounder to first. That's 2 outs. Horton left field. And he's going to come out of the game, and taking over for him is going to be Gates Brown. So Gates Brown's going to take over in left. Horton is done for the game. Brown a little better in left field as well. So Gates Brown will now come in, and he is a 3-6+1. I do not have to change the runner advancement card. He has the same arm. But now Jim Palmer is now gone for the rest of the game. So we will go to the bullpen here for the Orioles. Next batter is Bill Freehan. And I think the Orioles, let's see what they're going to bring out here. to pitch. And let's see, they got right. They're going to stick with a righty, I think. And I'll probably bring in. Coming on to pitch for the Orioles is going to be Rorik Harrison. I don't know really hardly anything about him. Rorik Harrison, 3 wins, 4 losses, 4 saves, a 2.30 ERA. He had 37 relief appearances, and when a pitcher is injured and I got to bring in somebody, I can kind of much bring in almost anyone I want. And he has more relief appearances. So Rorik, and he's a relief pitcher with a batting card. So Rorik Harrison's going to come on and pitch. But Palmer will leave with the win, with the chance at the win. So Rorik Harrison will come on to pitch here, continuing here the top of the 5th, or bottom of the 5th, top of the 5th, I should say. So Bill, and he can pitch to 9 batters. So we'll see how long he can go. And let's make sure I can mark that. And he's not due to bat until he was the 9th batter. So here's Bill Freehan. Freehan is 0 for 1. Harrison 6-2. That's an error on a throw. Freehan 6-4, and that's a line drive right to second. And Davey Johnson will get it, and that will end the inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Tigers, but an injury to Willie Horton and Jim Palmer take them both out of the game, and we will go to the bottom of the 5th. In fact, Rorik Harrison is not related to George Harrison. I don't know about that, Beatles. I'm going to look that up. Maybe Rorik Harrison, you know what? Rorik Harrison counts just because he has the last name of Harrison. So you know what? He counts. Just because he has the last name of Harrison. Any relation, doesn't matter. Don't have to be related by blood. Just could be related by name. So that counts. Yes, I let him eligible for the win. That, like I said, some baseball rules I don't give a darn about. I will make him eligible for the win. Whatever. Whoever starts, I automatically make eligible for the win. So don't worry about it. Remember, I don't keep a regular season stats except for wins and losses. That's it. Bottom of the 5th now, Joe Coleman will get back on the mound. And B-Moore will send up Don Buford to lead it off. He's 0 for 2. 4-0 O's. Since the Grand Slam, Baltimore has been kept quiet. Coleman, 3-3. And against the switch left, that's a walk, and that 4 is ball 4. So Coleman walks the leadoff batter, Buford. He'll trot to first. And that'll bring up Redmond. Redmond is 0 for 1 with a walk. Infield double play. Buford had 8 stolen bases that year. He will not get any here. Redmond is given the bunt sign, but with a 4-run lead, he'll swing. Coleman, 1-6, strikeout 9, and that is a called strike 3 on Redmond. He has an 8, but +1 makes him a 9, and that is a seeing eye strikeout, and that will be the 3rd strikeout for Coleman. And Redmond knows he probably should have swung at that one. Here's Powell. Powell 1 for 2 with a single. And let's see, Buford staying where he is. Coleman with the pitch. Coleman, 2-5, strikeout, 17 is high. Powell, a 1-1, and that's a ground ball to second base. Let's see if they turn it. 3-3-4. Shortstop, pivot, Brinkman, -1. So a 1-3, it's a twin killing. No, that's going to be a ground ball to second base. Buford got a good jump. His only play is to first, and that will be out number 2. He will get Powell. Two away. And here comes Mr. Robinson. Robinson is 0 for 1 with a walk. Anything on the strat? 17 says no. Coleman will pitch to the human vacuum cleaner. Coleman, 4-2. That's a walk plus. That 5 is an easy ball 4. And he walks Robinson for the 2nd time. So that is another walk by Coleman. That's his 4th walk of the ball game. It'll bring up Hendricks. Hendricks is 1 for 2, a grand slam in this ball game, and pretty much the difference so far on the scoreboard. David Vega joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Nothing on the 7. Coleman with the pitch. 6-6. That's a range play. Hendricks, 3-3. And that's a fly ball hit the right field. Going after that is Al Kaline. His range is a 2, and he won't get that one. And that's going to be a single for Ellie Hendricks. So Hendricks coming through big time today. So it's a single to right. Buford, base runner 3, becomes a 4 with 2 outs. Single to right +1, a 1-5. Buford will score, and he will. So Buford will come in to score. Robinson will make third. Hendricks gets a chance to turn it to second base, but he won't do it. His base running rating is a 1. He'll be happy at first. And that is an RBI single for Hendricks. He's doing all the scoring tonight for the Orioles. It's 5-0. Stadium cheers. Yay! So right now, Ellie Hendricks is trying to go ahead and try to put himself in the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. He has gotten all 5 RBIs in this matchup. It'll bring up Blair. Blair is 0 for 2, but reached on an error. And let's see what happens here. Pitch coming. Strategy roll first. Nothing on the 4. Nobody moving. Coleman will pitch. Coleman, 1-6, strikeout. And that 8 will get Blair. Struck him out. And that is strikeout number 4 for Coleman. But the inning is over. 1 run on 1 hit and a couple of walks. And the Orioles have a 5-0 lead as they're blanking the Tigers here after 5. Top of the 6th coming up. And it will be Ed Brinkman leading off for the Tigers, and he is 0 for 1. Rorick Harrison in there for the injured Jim Palmer. Remember, game day injuries only. I will not. They only full-time injuries only occur in the playoffs. Harrison 3-4. That's a wild pitch. Ball 1. 4-1. That's a blank. He's not tired. Brinkman 2-5, and that is a fly ball hit to right field. Redmond is going to get to it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Next batter is Coleman. Coleman can pitch to 29 batters before he tires. He still has 5 more left in the tank. I know he's given up 5 runs. Chuck Rawlings, I understand this is 1972. I don't know if they would take him out, but what do you want to do here? It's a 6th inning. You're down 5-0. Do you want to think about going to a pinch hitter now there, Chuck, or you rather just let him continue to play? Remember, this is the 70s. Bullpens are thin. Usually in that, they have pitchers though, and most of their pitchers can pitch to more than 2 or 3 batters, unlike 2016. But what do you think there, Chuck? Or do you let him? What do you think here? Give him 1 more at bat. So Coleman will bat against Harrison. 1 out. It is a 5-0 Orioles lead though. Harrison 6-6. That is a home run chance. But Coleman has 0, so it's not happening. Coleman 3-1, but Coleman is going to come through with a base hit right past the pitcher and into the outfield. So I guess Chuck Rawlings knew something about that, and Coleman's going to get the 2nd hit of the game for the Tigers. Coleman hits it right past Harrison and into the outfield, and a runner on base. And the batter now is McAuliffe. McAuliffe is 0 for 2. I don't think anything happening on Strack. The answer is no. And Harrison will go ahead and pitch. Harrison, 4-5. And against the lefty, it's a walk. And that 15 just misses. McAuliffe, 5-6. And that's a ground ball to first base. Let's see if they turn it. 1, 2, 2, because it's hit the first base. Shortstop, pivot Belanger, +1. A 1-3. It's a 3-6-3. No. Coleman will be thrown out at second. McAuliffe will beat the relay, and that will be 2 outs on the fielder's choice. So 2 away now for Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 2. Anything with McAuliffe. Nothing happening there. Harrison will pitch. Harrison, 5-5. That's a walk, and that's 6. Wow, no, and Harrison can't believe it. He is a 6, but -1 makes him a 5. Rodriguez, 4-4, And that is a power hit to left field. That's an 11, but against the righty, that's going to be too high. It'll stay up there in left field. Coming over there is Don Buford, and he will make the catch and retire the side. No runs and a hit for the Tigers, as right now Baltimore is shutting them down at the plate, and we'll go to the bottom of the sixth. Coleman will come out to pitch. And leading off for the O's will be Davy Johnson. And he is 1 for 2 with a single. 5-0 Orioles so far. Orioles trying to get their first win of this infantile 72 season. Coleman, 2-2 against the righty. Strikeout plus. That is a 4. That is an easy K. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 5th strikeout for Coleman. Next up is Belanger. And he's 0 for 2. Coleman with the pitch. Coleman, 6-3. That's a blank. He is not tired. Belanger, 6-1. Fly to center field. Coming in there is Northrup. And he's going to make his first put out of the game, 2 away. Rorik Harrison is going to come up, and he is going to bat. And he has his own batter card, which I believe I have here someplace. Should have it here. As I think I do. Should. Let's see here. Yep, there he is. Rorik Harrison is actually going to come up to bat, and why not? He's got a hitter card. And he can still pitch to 4 more batters before he tires. So here comes Rorik Harrison, a 118 batter, and he does have a home run in 72 and an RBI, which I guess it must be the only home run he's got. So 2 outs, 5-0 Orioles. Coleman will pitch to Harrison. Coleman, 1-1. That's a walk. That 10 is too high. Harrison, 5-2. And Harrison smacks one into left field, and that's going to bounce off the wall, and that's going to be a double. So Rorik Harrison gets a double to left to keep the inning alive. And now the batter is Buford, so the Orioles pitching doing the job here. So Rorik goes at second base, and now Coleman will pitch to Buford. And let's see what they're going to do here. Strategy rolls are off, so now it's pitcher versus batter. Coleman, 1-3. That's at the park. Memorial Stadium, 6-1. And that is a grounder to second base. Easily handled there by McAuliffe. He will throw to first and retire the side. So no runs and a hit for the Orioles. Holding on to a 5-0 lead here after 6. Alas, poor Rorik, you knew him well. We go to the top of the 7th, 5-0 in favor of the O's. Jim Northrup will leave off for the Cats. He is 0 for 2. Orioles pitching, doing the job. They've only scattered a couple of hits against the Tigers. Harrison, 6-2. That's an error on a throw. Northrup, 1-4. And against the righty, that's going to be an infield single. It's hit to first base. Does Powell still try to get him out? No, that is a 19. He will not make an error. He will hold on to it, and it will be a leadoff single for Northrup. So he'll go ahead and get there, and he will hold it first. And now the batter is Mr. Tiger, and he is 0 for 2. Infield is at double play depth. Strategy rolls are off. Harrison will go ahead and pitch to K-line. Harrison, 4-3, strikeout 13, that will miss. K-line, 5-6, and that's flied to center field, and Blair says he has it, and that is out number 1. Next up is Cash. Cash is 0 for 3. Northrup, look at Tigers trying to get somebody to come in here. Harrison, 1-4, wild pitch, but the 18 is high, ball 1. 5-3, error on a grounder. Cash, 6-6. That's a power hit to center field. That is a 20 against the righty. That is way overcooked. And that's going to be a fly out to center field. There won't be an error, obviously, and that will be out number 2. Cash gets way under that. And that'll bring in the new left fielder, Gates Brown, who took over for the injured Willie Horton. 230 average, 10 homers, 31 RBIs for Brown in 72. So now 2 outs here, top of the 7th. Harrison, 3-2. That is a blank. Brown, 1-4. That's a ground ball to second base being handled by Davey Johnson. He will take care of it, toss it over, and end the inning and retire the side. So no runs and a hit for the Tigers, and the Orioles holding a 5-0 lead here in the ball game. We are at the 7th inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I'll be right back. I have to set the alarm system to make sure a Steeler fan doesn't stalk my mom. Don't forget, we've got 10-minute ticker coming up after tonight's game. Our next matchup will be tomorrow night. It will be April 21st. And we're going to go north of the border. And nope, it's not the Toronto Blue Jays because, well, the Blue Jays didn't exist in 1972, but the Expos did. We're going to Jerry Park for tomorrow night as the St. Louis Cardinals will take on the Montreal Expos. Rick Wise will be pitching for the Cardinals, and Bill Stoneman will be pitching for the Expos. So that is our matchup for tomorrow night. Rick Wise against Bill Stoneman, the Redbirds and the Spos at Park Jerry, and that will be tomorrow night on Inside Pitch. Bottom of the 7th inning, Orioles lead 5-0 here. Coleman is tired, and we're going to see a new pitcher for him. That'll be it for Coleman. The Tigers did the job there. He is tired. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. We'll see a new pitcher for the Cats. And it's going to be right, left, right coming up for the Orioles. So I think they will bring in a righty. And let's see who it's going to be. And coming on to pitch, let's see who we want to bring in for the Tigers. Let's see here. Tiger bullpen is Oh, let's see. Miller, Negro, Timmerman. Oh, why not? Coming on to pitch for the Detroit Tigers is going to be one of the Negro brothers. Pretty much, I think he was pretty young at this time. Coming on to pitch for the Tigers will be Joe Negro. 3 wins, 2 losses, a save, a 3.83 ERA. Joe Negro will come on to pitch. He can pitch to 4 batters before tiring. But he will come on and pitch here for the Tigers. Joe Negro in 1972 with the Tigers. Just hung up with Robert's mom. If you're looking for a man to keep Robert out of her things, what'd you miss? I love it. So 5-0 here. Joe Negro will now come on to pitch for the Cats. Merv Rettenman leads off for Baltimore. I do use the 3-batter rule, even though that rule did not even get close to existence back in this time. Negro, 3-1, strikeout 6, struck him out. He'll get Rettenman. Nice opening K for Negro, Hall of Famer, by the way. That'll bring up Boog Powell. Powell is 1 for 3. Palmer got injured in a collision with Willie Horton at first base, and that's why Palmer is out. Negro will pitch to Powell now. Negro, 3-6 against the lefty, walk, and that one is ball 4. He will walk Boog easily, and Boog Powell will trot to first. Next up is Robinson. Robinson is 0 for 1, but he's walked twice. Infield double play depth, and nothing. Of course, strategy rolls are off. Negro will go ahead and deal. Negro 6-3, hit by pitch. That's a 4, and believe it or not, he did not hit him. Robinson a 3-5, and that's a fly ball hit to center field. Northrup is going to get to it, and he'll make the play for out number 2. Next batter is Hendricks, and with a 5-0 lead, and since Hendricks has gotten all 5 RBIs for the Orioles in this game, he's going to hit 2 for 3, a grand slam, and a single. John Wise joins us here at Memorial Stadium. You can comment on chat. For some reason, you can't add comments on past videos. I don't know. You should have no problem commenting on any of my videos there, John, unless it's YouTube. But I allow all comments, no matter how good, indifference, or nasty some of them I have seen that I've had to block and report. Powell on at first, and here comes the pitch from Negro. Negro 3-5, that's a blank. Hendricks 6-6, and that time it's a fly ball hit to center field. And Northrup again is going to make the catch. And that will end the inning. Nothing across except the walk. 5-0 Orioles here after 7. Top of the 8th inning. Rorik Harrison is tired, but they're going to let him pitch to see if they can get him another inning here. This is 1972. Leading off for the Tigers will be Bill Freehan, and he is 0 for 2. Orioles pitching has been marvelous tonight. Harrison, 2-3, that's a blank. Freehan, 3-6, and Freehan leads off, hitting one into right field. That'll shoot the gap. It'll go all the way to the wall, and Freehan leads off with a double. They'll hold at second base. That is only the 4th hit by the Tigers in this game tonight. That'll bring up the shortstop, Brinkman. May see a pinch hitter for him. And let's see if I have another shortstop. And I do not. I do not. He has to swing. So Brinkman will go ahead and bat. Infield is normal. Speaking of past videos, remember 1985? What? The most rigged season in an RJL network history? Harrison with the pitch. 4-6. Wild pitch. And that's an 8. And that'll go to the backstop, and Freehan is going to third. Wild pitch by Rorik Harrison. Now the Orioles, if he allows them to run, they probably will go ahead and bring in a new pitcher. So now it's still 5-0. The Orioles are going to play the infield normal. They're looking for outs here. Block dragon. So Freehan on at third. Harrison will pitch to Brinkman. Actually, you know what? No, that's going to be it. So they're going to go take Rorik Harrison out. He has done his job. And they will go ahead to the bullpen here because an automatic an S1 could bring in the run automatically. So they'd rather try to make sure they get the out. So let's see who the Orioles are going to bring in. There's still nobody out, so it's right, a pinch hitter, and a lefty. I think they'll go with a righty here. Oriole bullpen is not bad. Coming on to pitch for the Orioles is going to be Eddie Watt. 2 wins, 3 losses, 7 saves, a 2.17 ERA. Watt will come on and pitch for the Orioles. He can pitch to 5 batters. So here's Eddie Watt against Ed Brinkman. Oriole bullpen is pretty good. They're still calling the infield back now, but at least now a fatigue result won't result in an automatic hit. Watt, 4-4, strikeout 2, swing and a miss, struck him out. They'll go ahead and get Brinkman, and that is out number 1. And a pinch hitter coming in for Joe Negro, even though he can hit, but he's already reached his batting limit, so the Tigers will go to the bench. And coming on to bat for the Tigers is going to be the 8th inning. I don't like to bring on the lefties. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and make a decision here. Coming on to pitch for the bat for the Tigers is going to be Mickey Stanley. 234 average, 14 homers, 55 RBI. So send the righty on righty, though. Mickey Stanley, a much better hitter than who they have on the bench in lefties. So here comes Mickey Stanley. So Stanley will go ahead and he will bat against Watt. 1 out here. Infield is still playing back, allowing the run to go ahead and get the out. Watt, 1-1, walk, 17, that is high. Stanley, 3-5, that's a base hit to left field. So Stanley comes in, and he will go ahead and get a pinch hit single. That'll bring in a run. It's now 5-1. So the shutout is now gone, as Mickey Stanley gets a pinch hit RBI. The next batter will be McAuliffe. He will bat, and McAuliffe is 0 for 3. Infield a double play, now 5-1. Stanley on it first. Strategy rolls are still off. Watt, 3-4. That's an error on a throw. McAuliffe, 5-3, and that's a fly ball hit to right field. Rettenman will go ahead and make the play. He'll make the catch, and that is 2 outs. Of course, no throw made because Stanley not going anywhere. Batter now is Rodriguez. He's 0 for 3. 5-1, top of the 8th inning, 2 outs now. Watt, 4-5. That's a wild pitch, and that will go to the backstop, and Stanley goes to second. So another wild pitch. That's the second wild pitch in this inning by the Birds. And now that puts Stanley in scoring position. And they'll go ahead and try again here. Watt, 2-2. That's at the park. Memorial Stadium, 6-2. And that's a fly ball hit to left field. Don Buford will come under that. He'll put it away and retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits. A couple of wild pitches. But that will end the inning. We will go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 5-1 in favor of the O's. As PFLQR joins us here at Memorial Stadium. Bottom of the 8th inning, Paul Blair leads off for Beemore. He is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error. Tigers need a pitcher. And let's see, 3 righties coming up. Let's see who the Tigers are going to bring on to pitch. And let's see who they're going to go with here. Okay, there's a pitcher. So 1, 2, 3. We got 3 righties. This is the 8th inning. I usually like to go with the best they got. Let's see. They don't have any righties, either, do they? No, they don't. Now they'll go the closer. He had the most relief. Coming on to pitch for the Tigers is going to be Chuck Seelbach. 9 wins, 8 losses, 14 saves. A 2.89 ERA. I designated him as the closer for this game. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and bring him out, as this would normally use. I can use a closer usually in the 8th or 9th inning. So Chuck Seelbach, another great baseball name, will go ahead and come on to pitch. I don't know much about him, though. I really don't. Here's Blair. Blair was 0 for 3, but reached on an error here at bottom of the 8th. Seelbach, 2-5. That's blank. He's not tired. Blair, 2-3. That's flying to center field. Getting into that is Northrup. And he'll make the play for the out. Next batter is Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 3 with a single. Seelbach, 1-2. Against the righty, that's an automatic out. And that's a grounder to third. Getting over there will be Rodriguez. And he'll toss it over. 2 down. And now the batter is Belanger, and he'll bat. He's 0 for 3, but he's got his great range at shortstop. Seelbach dealing with Belanger. Seelbach, 4-6. That's at the park. Memorial Stadium, 2-5. That's fly to left. And it will be Gates Brown getting to that. He will easily make that play and retire the side. 1-2-3, go the Orioles. Seelbach does his job. 5-1 in favor of the O's. But will we see some ninth inning magic? Top of the ninth coming up. Orioles lead 5-1. Not a save situation. Jim Northrup, K-Line, and Cash to bat for the Cats. And Eddie Watt, he can pitch to one more batter before he tires. I'm going to check the Oriole bullpen. The guy designated for the closer for the Orioles in this game was Grant Jackson. And I am going to it's not a safe situation. I'm going to leave Watt to pitch. This is the 1970s. So this is the 1970s. So I'm going to leave Watt to pitch. Watt can pitch to one batter before he fatigues. It's not a save situation. Watt will come on and pitch to Northrup. Watt, 4-1 against the lefty. It's blank. Northrup, 3-3, and that's a base hit to right field. So Northrup leads off the inning with a single. That's his second hit of the game. And now the batter is K-Line. Now Watt is tired. But they're going to let him go one more pitch here. K-Line, Mr. Tiger is up. He is 0 for 3. 5-1 Orioles. Fans here at Memorial Stadium hoping the Orioles can finish the job. Strategy rolls are off. Watt will pitch. Watt, 2-4. Strikeout 11. That is high. K-Line, 3-2. And that's hit to right field. And Rettenmund's going to have a lot of room there. And he'll make the catch for the out. 1 out. And the next batter is Norm Cash. Now the Orioles are going to go to the bullpen as Watt is tired. And they will go ahead and bring out the closer since he is a lefty in the situation. Although they really didn't have, I guess, what they had closing pitches, I guess, back in the day. Coming on to pitch for the Orioles is going to be Grant Jackson. 1 win, 1 loss, 8 saves, a 2.63 ERA. And with the tying run in the hole, I'm going to make this a save situation. Although some of you might not agree, but I'm going to give him a chance. So Grant Jackson's going to pitch to the next two lefties, which is Cash and Brown. So top of the ninth inning, 5-1. Jackson going ahead and getting the deal. Strategy rolls are off. Jackson 1-4 against the lefty. It's a blank. Cash 4-1, and against the lefty, it's a ground ball to third. Can they turn it? 2-1-2. Second base, Pivot Johnson, +1 is a 3. A 1-3. This game is in the books. And it is. Ball is hit to third. Handled there by Robinson. Takes it. Throws to second. Gets it to Johnson. Pumps once. Pumps twice. Throws to first. That's your game. The Orioles will come away with a victory today over the Tigers. A 5-1 win. Stadium cheers. Yay! No runs and a hit for the Tigers. As the Orioles change history, Detroit historically won this game 5-3, but the Orioles will take a 5-1 win over the Cats tonight. So a big win for the O's, and their record will go to 1-2, and Detroit will drop to 1-1. So a nice victory for the Orioles tonight, as they will get their first win of this very young 1972 season. Final line score coming up. For the Orioles, 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. For the Tigers, 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher is going to be Cakes, Jim Palmer. He'll get the win. Joe Coleman will wind up with the loss. Harrison will get a hold, and Grant Jackson will wind up with the save. So a victory there for the Baltimore Orioles, as the fans here at Memorial Stadium get a very nice win here for the O's. But we are not done. 10-minute ticker is coming right up. Something tells me this 1972 season is not going to go the way that I think. It is now time for the 10-minute ticker, brought to you by FastScore Baseball. So the Orioles will get the victory 5-1. Let's see how the rest of the majors goes in these 3 days. Continuing with April 18th, Cleveland at Boston. Cleveland 11:33, and that is 3. Red Sox 11:56, and that is 6. That's a win for the Bo Sox. Minnesota and the Halos. Twins 5:22, that is 1. Angels 8:15, and that is also 1. They will tie, go extras. And let's see. Minnesota rolls a 5, -1 is 4. California rolls a 1, +4 is 5. That's going to be a win for the Halos in extra innings. Texas and the White Sox. Rangers 3:42, and that's 2. White Sox 13:25, and that is 3, a win for the Pale Hose. Brewers and the Yankees. Brewers 4:43, and that's 3 runs. Yankees 17:32, and that is 4 runs. That's a win for the Bombers. Kansas City and Oakland. Kansas City 18:35, and that is 5. Oakland 17:61, and that is 8. And the Athletics are already showing how good they're going to be this season. Dodgers and the Braves. Dodgers 16:31, and that's 4. Atlanta 10:41, and that is also 4. They will go into extras. Dodgers roll a 1, +0. Braves roll a 3, +2 is 5, and that will be a win for the Bravos. Astros and the Reds. Astros 16:15, and that is 2. Reds 16:22, and that is 3. And that game belongs to the Reds. Mets and the Expos. Mets haven't won a game yet. Mets 13:16, and that is 2. Expos 10:32, and that is 3. And my Mets still are winless. Cardinals and the Phillies. Cardinals 16:52, and that is 6. Phillies 5:15, and that is 1. That's a win for the Redbirds. Cubs and the Pirates. Cubs 10:45, that's 4. Pirates 12:55, that is 6, and that's a win for the Bucks. Giants and the Padres. Giants 27:31, and that's 6 runs. Padres 16:54, and that's 6. And that's also 6 runs. 27:31. That is 6 runs. Padres 16:54, and that is 6 runs. They got extras. Let's see. Giants roll a 1. -4 is -3. Padres have a 2, and +2 is 4. That's going to be a win for the Padres. On to April 19th, Detroit at Baltimore. Tigers 5:36, and that's 2. Orioles 5:21, and that is 1. And the Tigers will get the win there. Cleveland at Boston. Cleveland 723, that's 2. Red Sox 526, and that's also 2. They will go into extras. Cleveland rolls a 5 plus 0. Boston rolls a 4 plus 1 is 5. That is a tie, which means the Red Sox will win it in extras by virtue of home field. Minnesota and California. Twins 762, that's 5. Angels 312, and that's going to be 0. That'll be a win for the Twin Cities. Rangers and the White Sox. Rangers 854, and that is 5. White Sox 1244, and that's 4. That'll be a win for the Rangers. Milwaukee and the Yankees. Brewers 836, and that's 3. Yankees 1425, and that is also 3. They will go into extra innings. Brewers roll a 6 plus 0. Yankees roll a 1. Minus 2 is -1. That will be a win for the Brew Crew. Kansas City at Oakland in a doubleheader, game 1. Kansas City 732, and that's 2. Oakland 1036, that's 3. That's a win for the A's. Game number 2. Kansas City 415, and that is 0. Oakland 1141, and that is 4. And the Athletics win both games from the Royals. Dodgers and the Braves. Good matchup between Sutton and Necro, 2 Hall of Famers. Dodgers 955, and that is 5. Braves 613, that's 0. That's a win for the Bums. Astros and the Reds. Astros 1345, and that is 5. Reds 1861, and that is 8. And that game belongs to the Reds. Cardinals and the Phillies, another matchup of 2 of the best of all time, Gibson and Lefty. Cardinals 223, and that is 1. Phillies 364, and that is 5, and that is a win for Lefty and the Phils. Cubs and the Pirates. Cubs 946, that's 4 runs. Pirates 1643, and that's 5 runs, and the Bucks will win another game. Giants and the Padres. Giants 12. Giants 12-12, and that is 1. Friars 10-13, and that is also 1. They will tie again. Giants roll a 3, minus 4 is -1. Friars roll a 1, plus 2 is 3. That'll be another win for the Friars in extra innings. On to April 20, 420. Smoke them if you got them. Detroit at Baltimore. Rubber match of that series. Detroit 666. That's 8. Baltimore 856, and that is 5. And the Tigers will take 2 out of 3 from the O's, even after losing tonight, though. Dodgers in Atlanta. Dodgers 1812, that's 1. Braves 824, and that is 2, and that's a win for Atlanta. Cubs and the Pirates. Cubs 1015, that is 1. Pirates 1254, and that is 6. And the Pirates are off to a fast start. Giants and the Padres. Giants 1551, and that is 6. Padres 1042, and that is 4. And that will be a win for the G-Men. That is your 10-minute ticker. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow will be April 21st. We will be going to Park Jarry as the St. Louis Cardinals will take on the Montreal Expos. Rick Wise will be going for the Cardinals, and Bill Stoneman will go for the Expos. A good matchup there between the Birds and the Spos north of the border at Jarry Park, so it should be a good one. Wise, Stoneman, Cardinals and Expos. Be there or be square. PFL QR, Steeler fan, Brian B., Chuck Rawlings, Midlife Crisis, Frank Rosenk, and let's see here, John Wise, Tracy Meehan, David Vega, Dwayne Martz, Beatles Eternally, David Lando, Doug Hunt, Tim Steinhauer, Jeremy Brooks, and Mike Silva. And let's see here, I'm sorry, didn't see you, Marlon Price. Sometimes I can't get everybody. Vita Productions, D. Scott Howard, the Goat Whisperer, Jimmy Jam. And let's see, Philip Reynolds, DB, Big Clue, Ron McGrath. And I think I got everybody there. Absolutely. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you're not done so. And make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. See you guys tomorrow night. A nice victory for the Orioles tonight here at Memorial Stadium. It is the Birds over the Cats, 5-1. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one.